This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Tuesday, March 14th, 2023, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. And in today's episode, we will have the latest edition of Between the Pods. I will be joined by April Hemis. She is the Iowa Soybean Association District 2 Director, and we're going to discuss a recent trade mission that took place to Japan and South Korea. We will also have a check of the ag weather outlook, but first, let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined now by Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. Jacob is back from Commodity Classic, as we are here as well, here in the studio. Jacob, what did we see in the livestock, or in the grain markets rather? We'll start with that today.
Oh, well, the grain markets had quite a positive day here. Very encouraging. We've looked like we found some support down here at some pivotal numbers here across the corn, beans, and wheat. So right now we got the corn markets. Looks like it's going to close up here around the 7 to 8 cents higher in the old crop. With the bull spread starting to come back into play, we've taken quite a bit of that spread out here the last 2 days. The December corn is still going to be up positive. We're going to be 2 cents higher around the 560 level. So 8 cents are off their lows today in the new crop, and around 10 to 11 cents off the lows in the old crop. So a strong day there. Wheat market across Kansas City, across Chicago, up double digits here. Beans even found a way to bull spread their way back into some positiveness in the front months as well.
And Jacob, two big news stories today. We had the Chinese buying a large portion of U.S. corn, and then we've been waiting for the official word on the Black Sea corridor deal, whether or not that deal is going to be extended. It sounded like some rumors of a 2-month extension, but do we have an official word on that yet?
First of all, I'll start with the Ukraine situation. I don't put a lot of emphasis on that right now. I think there still sounds to me like a lot of questions as far as what even got signed and what's going to be going forward. I think Ukraine was pushing for a year term. I think it came down to 120 days, and then maybe now it's even 60 days according to Russia. But the positiveness for them in that area is the fact that there's going to be some more grain going, and it didn't shock the system again, if you will. I think if we wouldn't have got anything done or anything pushed through, there still would be some shock to that system, and see probably a bigger jump in the wheat for us here. But longer term, who knows how that plays out. The fact of the matter is that area over there Ukraine looking to plant a half a crop again. So we still have that dynamics working, but hopefully we get some grain moving out of there. On the China side, we cut exports last time. I was kind of surprised to see 75 million exports come out, and these are the type of news events that we need to start seeing. Some flash sales. We need to start seeing some bigger weekly sales reports. We did gain last week on inspections, and we did ship out more. But there's something that that paradigm could go into the little bit further into the summer this year, as far as us making big exports at the end of that summer, in terms of making up the sales and the needs that the globe's going to have, and what our export position is going to be look like could come later in the year.
And Jacob, what happened on the livestock markets today?
Well, live cattle, we end up seeing the feeder cattle down about $1.30 in the April contract. You're seeing the March kind of match up with where the feeder cattle index is at. Live cattle, not a lot of cash trade going to be gone here. I think your weights are down, but they're filling contracts from the packer side of things, but not getting overly aggressive with making those purchases. All in all, with the economic problems and with the bank. That the couple of different banks that have failed, and the thoughts and rumors of what's going to happen in the banking world, from the economic standpoint, we've seen a lot of volatility. I think the cattle have actually held in there decent, not have gotten too volatile. On the hog side of things, just another down day. So we saw some pressure across all the livestock and all the proteins, but I think that's probably expected a little bit with these type of volatility and the type of news that we're seeing on the economy side. Seeing the CPI come out today again, seeing an increase in 0.4% in the CPI. So I think that I think we're anticipating seeing some more interest rate cuts. But right now, cattle and hogs, I would say that they held in there pretty good.
Jacob Burks with our closing market analysis here today. Jacob, how can our listeners get in touch? How can our viewers get in touch for more great information?
Let's check us out online there, agmarket.net. Sign up for our 30-day free trial of our intel, and you can find all of our information, all of our numbers there on our team page.
Jacob, thank you so much for the time here today, and have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Mark. Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
That was Jacob Burks with agmarket.net. Let's turn our attention now to the closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart.
May corn is up 7 1/4 at 6.20 3/4. New crop December corn up 2 even at 5.59 1/4. May soybeans up 2 1/2 at 14.93 3/4. New crop November soybeans down 3/4 cent at 13.38 1/2. May soybean meal up $1.90 at 481.20. May soybean oil up 32 cents at 56.18. Chicago wheat up 11 3/4 at 6.96 1/4. Minneapolis wheat up 15 3/4 at 8.48 1/4, and Kansas hard red wheat up 17 1/4 at 8.17 3/4. May oats up 1 even at 3.49 even. On the Merc, April live cattle down 50 cents at 163.05. April feeder cattle down $1.32 at 195.75. April lean hogs down 82 cents at 85.40. April pork cutout down 60 cents at 92.50. And Class 3 milk for March up 20 cents at 17.98.
And that's been a check of the Ag Market Recap here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead now and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. And when we come back, it is the latest edition of Between the Pods. In today's episode, I will be joined by April Hemis. She is ISA District 2 Director. This is AMPM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today on Between the Pods, I speak with April Hemis, ISA District 2 Director. We talk about a recent trade mission to Japan and South Korea alongside Iowa Economic Development Authority, and that trip was to build customer preference for homegrown commodities.
It's time to go between the pods with the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network and the Iowa Soybean Association. For the next year, we will explore the ways Iowa-grown soybeans are making a difference at home and around the world. Now, here's your host of Between the Pods, Mark Magnuson.
Mark Magnuson with the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined today by April Hemis. She is the District 2 Director for the Iowa Soybean Association. And April, you recently just took a big trip. It was to Japan and South Korea, and it was just a few weeks ago. Tell us, please, what that trip was all about.
Well, it was with the Iowa Department of Economic Development and Iowa Soybean, along with Iowa Corn, Iowa Farm Bureau, Iowa Pork Producers, and Iowa Beef Producers. Plus, we had some businesses along with us. Burkwood Farms, who supply Berkshire hogs to Japan and South Korea, and people representing Iowa Premium Beef and the Iowa Beef Industry Council. So it was a great trip, showcasing protein and grains from Iowa.
And for our listeners, our viewers that might not know, where does South Korea, where does Japan rank in terms of demand for soybeans?
Well, soybean demand is good. South Korea used to be number one in oil. They've kind of fluctuate. But what we do is supply them with the value added from Iowa with the pork. They love our pork. They love our beef too. So, that's really where it comes in. But it's a mature market. Both of those are mature markets for soybeans. So we love their market and we want to keep it stable.
So at that point then, is it showing off some of the products then are maybe a little bit more considered premium almost, or how does that work?
Yes, so premium product, and they find the quality is great, so they don't I don't know if they don't mind paying for it, but they will pay the extra. I mean, for example, the head of Burkwood Farms wanted to do a pop-up during the Olympics. So he went to an entrepreneur and said, hey, do you want to do this? And he's an Englishman living in Tokyo. So they brought him over to the Iowa State Fair and took him to the pork chop tent, the Iowa pork tent. Well, who does it? I said, you loved it. And he goes, I said, we're not doing a pop-up, we're doing a store. So they have big Iowa barbecue in the middle of Tokyo, and what fun that was. I mean, they put out a spread like you wouldn't believe with ribs and chops and the brisket and things like that, and it was unbelievable. And if anyone wants to go, there's a map of Iowa, and you can put your pin. I put my pin right up where my farm is. So, you know, it was just unbelievable to see that. We also got to go to other restaurants with Iowa Premium Beef showcased, and, you know, it just gives you, knowing that your feed went into, you know, my grains could have fed those cattle or hogs, and then they're showcased right there halfway across the world is really great to see.
And April, when these United States trade groups go overseas to foreign countries, it does seem like these countries are very receptive because they know of the quality and then the consistency of the U.S. product. Was that something that you found on this trip?
Yes, it is. It was quality, consistency, plus the new, you know, it's not so new anymore, sustainability. They know, I talk about how I raise the crops on my farm and how I care for the crops and the land and my century plus old farm, and you know that story really resonates with the consumers especially. They want to know where their, you know, food is coming from, and then when I tell my story, it really resonates with them, and that's becoming more and more popular. So.
And I've heard that a lot from other trade groups as well, that when the actual producer, the actual farmer is there to visit with these people, they really respect their opinions and they learn a lot. And I think that really helps to make these trips special.
It really does, because when you put a face to the farm, you know, that makes all the difference in the world. That really ties them back to where their food comes from.
All right, April, then, so what's next after this trip for you with the Iowa Soybean Association? Anything that you're working on or anything that's got you excited?
We're setting budget. Well, what's got me excited and worried is what's the planting season going to be like? So we get through that, but so many great things coming up. We're investing so many dollars in Iowa in great projects that I can't wait to see what comes up next.
She is April Hemis. She is the District 2 Director with the Iowa Soybean Association. April, thank you so much for the time, and have a great rest of the Commodity Classic show.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
That was April Hemis, ISA District 2 Director. Let's turn our attention now to the ag weather outlook. A sunny day around the state of Iowa today, but we still have those cooler temperatures we are dealing with. When we look at tomorrow, that's when we start the warm up. Tomorrow is going to be a temperature change, a big swing from today. So let's go ahead now and turn our attention to the National Weather Service and what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours.
As you can see from the National Weather Service, mostly sunny skies around the state of Iowa today. We do have some patchy blowing snow and breezy conditions in northwest Iowa. High temperatures around the state 38 to 47. Mostly clear and breezy tonight. Low temperatures expected in the 26 to 33 range. Tomorrow, partly sunny and breezy with increasing clouds. We will see quite a bit warmer temperatures tomorrow, with our high temperature range expected 52 to 61 around the state of Iowa. And looking now at our affiliate weather map for Wednesday, Cherokee, partly sunny and breezy with a high temperature around 52. Shenandoah, increasing clouds and breezy on Wednesday with a high around 61. Des Moines, mostly sunny and windy tomorrow with a high around 55. Albia, mostly sunny and windy, high around 57. Waterloo, mostly sunny and breezy with a high around 51. Clinton, increasing clouds on Wednesday with a high around 53 degrees.
For a more detailed forecast in your part of the state, make sure and check with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook. And that also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find all of our video content and previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. And don't forget our free twice daily market podcast, which are found on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Dustin Huffman and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.